Hey, Tula. Hey, Cassie. Long time no see.
Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself.
Line and take cash in your chips. You sniveling, whining, self-loathing hypocrite. Blame it on Rio or the woman in red. Don't fool yourself, it's all in your head.
Hey, Raymond.
You're the mascot of the next century. Look in the mirrors, count insecurity. I bleed for you, my eyes burn. My point is no, cause you'll never learn. You'll never learn. I bleed for you. You'll never learn. I bleed for you. You'll never learn. I bleed. I bleed. Fuck you, Michelle Bachman. Fuck you. Lying and dying is all that you read. Bullets in from your mouth. Fuck you, fucking Levi's jeans. Fuck you, Bank-Americans. Fuck you. Sick of your loathsome little ditty. Line and take cash in your chips. You sniveling, whining, self-loathing hypocrite. Blame it on Rio or the woman in red. Levi's closing company. It's all in your head.
It starts with an L. Bullshit! Fuck you! 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 I'm all honest. Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you, Chevrolet. Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you all! Fuck you, motherfucker! Fuck you, Hollywood! Fuck you! Fuck you, motherfucker! Fuck you! Fuck y'all! Fuck off, motherfucker! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Hello, Chinese. Hey, everybody in Orlando, Florida.
You were here?
Yes.
Kick my finger! Fucking touch!
Have you grabbed my car? Hey, there. Hey, dear Slayer.
Go fuck yourselves!
Yes, we're here. Okay. Yes.
It's all in your head. You'll never learn. I bleed for you.
Okay, wow, the coffee tonight is stellar. Stellar cafef. Makes me happy. Pepe. Okay, let's move some things around here and get my brain situated and ready for a show. So Bitcoin went back out. I told you it's going to go to 44. It's at 43.6. Okay. It's still got a little ways to go, but it's going to do it. I told you 44 is my target. Now, the harmony's down a little bit. Harmony's down a little bit. Harmony's at 2182. It got all the way up to 2250 today. Let's see what the recorded high got. Was recorded at 2286. I got all the way up to 2286 today. So the wallet is looking really good when it's getting up that high, and it's only going to get higher. Highly recommend you guys get in on that one. Harmony, you can get that at all kinds of other exchanges. Scott, Benoit, what's up, buddy? Hello. keep our eye on that Bitcoin. We called that. We called that was going to happen. We watched it. So, if you like getting those predictions, you know, keep tuning into the show. Why doesn't YouTube give me current videos, man? This is so weird. I guess because it's Christmas and nobody's putting up new material today. Scientists are bringing back extinct species. But is this a good idea? Looks like I'm not the only one. Hey, Pinoy, looks like I'm not the only one with computer problems. TC Dubs, what's up? Deer Slayer, yo. How's it going, everybody? This is all just bullshit. Really Violent J? Huh. I wonder what he's like when he's being interviewed. I have a stalker who's crushing hard, so someone I know too. Oh my god, Tula, what's up with that? That's your fifth stalker? Dude, it's like, I'm looking at the content on my feed. My feed is horrible on YouTube, man. It's just... There's really nothing here that I want to get into. Great title. Thank you. Smoking a piece with y'all. Right on. Let's smoke. Yeah, let's just smoke, man. I was going to try to pull up a video, and I was looking at all my options here, and I'm like, yeah, none of this looks like anything I want to watch with you guys right now, so we'll move on to the smoking section. That's the best part of Home on Wheels. Wow. You got to run to the hills. That sucks. God damn it. All right. Okay, let's check the time. All right, 13. It's gonna be 14, 20. Ooh, I see a 14 and a 20 in my future. I definitely see a 4 and a 20 in my future here. When does one need a wallet? Dear Slayer, you already have a wallet. That's where your crypto sits, in a wallet. But the time to get an offline wallet is when you're ready to spend, anywhere from 30 to 100 or more dollars on a device that encrypts your crypto. And the only way anybody can get it is if they have that physical device that you have. That's what an offline wallet is. It gives you a device, a solid device, that if someone doesn't possess it, they can't hack you. Supposedly. That's what makes you feel so good about having them. The fact is, your crypto is not on that device. That device is just the keys to your crypto. And if people don't know the code to get into the device, they can't get the device to open your crypto. Okay, no longer gonna get him. Cheers, everybody. Happy 420 on the 1420. It's at top of the hour. Treasure Coast Waters, TC Dubs. Why ICP will change the world? 9 days ago. Let's watch this. I think I may have found something interesting to watch. This is Double Down.
Ben Shapiro, Douglas Murray, Jordan Peterson, Rupert Murdoch, Talk TV, and Piers Morgan. All of the names that I've just mentioned have links to the Israeli political and military establishment which is attempting to push the Palestinians of Gaza into the Sinai Desert of Egypt. These individuals are seeking relentlessly to fold Palestine into their own synthetic world. We've seen a sophisticated campaign in this country to replace the class war with the culture war. Essentially, Palestine is now being integrated by those same forces into this trademark of wokeness. But let me tell you something clearly. Palestine is a real war, not your manufactured, broadsheet-centered.
You don't understand what I'm telling you? Crypto resides in a wallet. When you buy crypto, it automatically goes into a wallet. So your Cash App is a wallet. It will hold as much crypto in there as you want to put in there. No one else will be able to get into it for the most part unless someone else gets a hold of your phone or your password or hacks your account somehow. You've already got a fairly secure wallet with Cash App. You almost bought more today? Hey, Tommy Lewis, what's up, buddy? You're going to the Redwoods? And his freaks off. WT actual. Did he? Yeah, well, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. What do you expect?
Mainstream media supported culture war. You talk about cancel culture, there is no people on the face of this earth who have been more cancelled in human history than the Palestinians. The Palestinians have been cancelled out of all existence. People like Douglas Murray, Jordan Peterson,
Dude, that
Ben
Douglas,
Shapiro.
that Douglas Murray guy is the piece of shit son of a bitch that we saw debating Cenk Unger on Piers Morgan's show, or on the earlier show today. He's a real piece of human garbage, that guy. All he could do was personally attack Cenk, and he had nothing to offer up to support his narrative of, you know, his claim that it's not a genocide. Whatever.
And Piers Morgan moan about people challenging their views. Isn't it so ironic to see those that have bored our ears off about their own supposed cancel culture, celebrating cancel culture which has genocidal ramifications on children in Gaza?
He makes a really good point. I've never seen this guy, I've never heard him before, but I completely agree with everything he just said.
But let me tell you something. The Palestinian struggle against settler colonialism is over 100 years old. It preceded you becoming a twinkle in the eye of your parents. Palestine will never die. It will live beyond you and all of your attempts to disfigure the truth. They're losing the propaganda war, but they have tried. In an article which Ben Shapiro has had wiped from the internet, but is thankfully still available due to the Wayback Machine, Ben Shapiro said the following: if you believe that Israel has a right to exist, then you must allow Israel to transfer the Palestinians and Israeli Arabs from Judea, Samaria, Gaza, and Israel proper. Time to stop being squeamish. Transfer is not genocide. So let's look at the trajectory of Ben Shapiro. He was employed as a Shillman Fellow at the David Horowitz Freedom Center. Robert Shillman, the person who funded his position, was on the board of the Friends of the IDF at the same time and funds illegal settlements in occupied Palestine. Not only was Ben Shapiro a Shillman Fellow at the David Horowitz Freedom Center, so was Tommy Robinson. Later, Ben Shapiro went on to co-found the Daily Wire with Jeremy Bowring. Both of those people worked to set up the YouTube channel, the Prager University, for Israel lobbyist Dennis Prager. While doing that, They worked directly under the leadership of Marissa Straight, who was a former Unit 8200 military intelligence agent. Jordan Peterson is employed by the Daily Wire. Where is his humanity when looking upon the Palestinians? Give them hell, Netanyahu. Those were your words. Did Netanyahu give the Palestinians enough hell yet? You call yourself a Christian, Jordan Peterson? How?
See, Jordan Peterson is a giant piece of human garbage. And all of you who listen to Jordan Peterson and think you're listening to some kind of a statesly, intelligent, seer through of the narrative and teller of the truth, you're a fucking cuck bitch. Okay? I've told you this before. Jordan Peterson is a cunt, and so are you when you listen to him and subscribe to his bullshit. Okay? I can't say it enough. Jordan Peterson is a dumb fucking cunt. And those of you that listen to him and subscribe to his bullshit are a bunch of dumb fucking cunts too.
How could you accept the bombing of hospitals, churches, and schools in your name? One of the key ways in which they are trying to push back against the force of reality with what is happening in Gaza has been Talk TV. Well, what is Talk TV? This patriotic alternative to cancel culture. Well, it was founded by Rupert Murdoch and is part of his News Corp empire. But there's something about Rupert Murdoch's relationship with Israeli intelligence
Piece of
that
shit,
the
by the
world
way.
should know. In 1988, Rupert Murdoch helped to found an organization that would go on to be called the NDS Group at Weizmann Institute in Israel. It was later alleged that this organization, the NDS Group, which became a subsidiary of News Corp, had hacked the communications of rivals and hacked the channels of rivals and placed them for free on the internet in the early 2000s. Not only were Rupert Murdoch's two sons on the board of the NDS Group, there were also some more interesting figures behind them. The CEO of NDS Group was Abe Peled. Abe Peled was a technical officer in the Israeli Infantry Corps. The head of security was Reuven Hazak. Reuven Hazak was the deputy director of Israel's internal intelligence agency, Shin Bet. The chief technical director was Yossi Tesouria, who was a member of a settler group which attempted to blow up Al-Aqsa. So what you have here is an Israeli company owned by Rupert Murdoch, staffed by former Israeli military and intelligence personnel, which stands accused of hacking rivals in order to benefit Rupert Murdoch's media empire. Murdoch's charitable arm, the News Corp Foundation, donated money in 2007 to the Jerusalem Foundation. The Jerusalem Foundation builds in illegal settlements in Sheikh Jarrah and East Jerusalem. We also know that Murdoch's sons have a close relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu. In addition to that, Rupert Murdoch was on the board of Genie Energy, an oil and gas company, when it had contracts in Israeli-occupied Syrian Golan Heights. Sam Kiley, the Africa correspondent at the Times newspaper, resigned from his position, claiming that Murdoch's close friendship with Ariel Sharon and investments in Israel prevented the Times newspaper from being able to cover Palestine and Israel in an objective way. Any information which is coming through Talk TV or other Murdoch-owned news channels or papers is likely to be deeply biased in the direction of Israel. That brings us to the question of Piers Morgan. Now, Piers Morgan goes to great lengths to state his own objectivity and neutrality on this question.
On the issue whether I'm pro-Israel, I don't have a horse in this race.
But it is my conviction that his personal relationships with key Israel lobbyists and fundraisers for the builders of settlements would cast a serious question mark on that neutrality.
Wow.
In the past, Piers Morgan has fronted fundraising campaigns for a charity founded by former head of the Labour Friends of Israel, Jonathan Mendelsohn, and a charity which is also run by key Israel lobbyist Trevor Chin. Trevor Chin is an executive director of BICOM, Israel's largest lobby group
Hey,
in
Karen.
this country. In the midst of his coverage of Israel's genocide,
Peterson sucks the dick of a caterpillar.
Piers Morgan had a cozy sushi meal in New York with Nicola Mendelsohn, the wife of Jonathan Mendelsohn. Nicola Mendelsohn, as part of Facebook, headed the procurement of Onavo. Onavo, an Israeli mobile analytics company, which was founded by veterans of Unit 8200 military intelligence in Israel. This organization then set about, through Facebook, monitoring users' out-of-app behavior. It was found that Onavo's activity on behalf of Facebook violated the privacy of Facebook users and was then used to inform Facebook's purchase of WhatsApp. For that reason, Facebook were then required to shut down Onavo. Catherine Jenkins, the other woman seated next to Piers Morgan, has also been credited as fundraising for the JNF, the largest settlement building body in Palestine. And its patrons include not only Tony Blair, but also
I think he's
Isaac
proved,
Herzog,
he's more than proved
President
his
of
point,
Israel,
right?
and Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. But do you know who else is on the board of the JNF? None other than Alan Mendoza, the key figure at the Henry Jackson Society. Now, the Henry Jackson Society was founded with a statement signed by James Woolsey, the former director of the CIA, by Richard Dearlove, the former head of MI6 at the time of the Iraq War, by Erwin Stetzler, who is the right-hand man to Rupert Murdoch.
This has got to be the deepest, fastest, quickest rabbit hole I have ever gone down in a single video. Holy shit, dude. We are so far down in this thing. You know, this guy needed 10 fucking chalkboards up on the wall with 2 fucking bales of red string to tie all this shit in together. And he did. And he's got it. He's presenting it really well. It's psychotic.
The Henry Jackson Society was essential to the development of Prevent, which spies, mainly on Muslim children, into a public statutory duty. Another director of the Henry Jackson Society is none other than William Shawcross, who of course went on to head the Charity Commission and lead a witch hunt against Muslim charities. Douglas Murray worked for many years
This guy
in
is the
Henry
piece
Jackson
of shit.
Society, proselytizing for the war on terror and generally making things harder across the board for Muslims in Europe. But where did the funding for this Douglas Murray organization, the Henry Jackson Society, come from? Well, one of its funders is the Hertog Foundation. The Hertog Foundation also funds the David Foundation, key settler group in East Jerusalem. And also, the Hertog Foundation funds the Friends of the IDF and the David Horowitz Freedom Center, which employed Tommy Robinson and Katie Hopkins.
My mom is a friend of the
that Douglas
IDF.
Murray worked for many years, shared funders with the Friends of the IDF, illegal settlements, and Tommy Robinson. And Douglas Murray can do as many appearances as he wants on the edge of Gaza embedded with Israeli soldiers. The vast majority of people viewing these videos understand him to be Tommy Robinson with an Eton education. Despite attempting to depict themselves as victims of cancel culture relentlessly, these very same figures are now relishing in the victimhood of Palestinians. They are relishing in the victimizing of some of the poorest people in the world inside a concentration camp. And at the same time, Israel is attempting to portray itself as a victim while being the hyper-aggressor, while being the occupier, while being the ethnic cleanser of Palestine. These are the very same people backing up the Israeli Defense Minister, Yoav Gallant, when he refers to people of Gaza as human animals. They are the very same people backing up Benjamin Netanyahu as he quotes biblical sources with genocidal ramifications. And as their desperation becomes more and more apparent, we will see more outbursts and lashing out of those that support Israel's genocidal war on the Palestinians. Just remember who is on the right side of history here. Mainstream
just remember who's on
information.
Just remember who's on the right side of history here, everybody.
Of that
okay, remember you're watching my show.
development of
And all of you were on the right side of history because you were watching this show, because we're getting it right. Ahoy there, Trump sucks. Young Click, yes, of course. Tula, what did he call them? Freak-offs. Hey, okay, cool. Said hi to all of you. Okay, cool. We're all caught up on the chats. Okay, cool. This guy right here is Double Down News. The future of journalism. The guy's name is Low Key. One dead, 3 hurt, gunfire, Colorado Mall. Oh my God. Yo, Tropical, what's up, buddy? Destiny discusses the gold digger allegations. Why my old business failed. Yeah, like I said before, my feed on YouTube sucks so bad. I remember I used to turn on YouTube, bro, and the very first row would be something I'd want to watch, you know? The end of the smartphone is near. Let's watch that.
Of talk time every month, so it was based. This is the Motorola 888, one of the most popular cell phone models back in 1994. I actually had one of these myself back then. It only had like 15 minutes of talk time every month, so it was basically just for emergencies. Jump forward 10 years and Motorola introduced the Razr V3, a wildly different design right out of science fiction that flipped open like a Star Trek communicator, thinner than a pencil with hours of battery life and unlimited talk time. Also, you could text and play games with it. I had one of these too. Once upon a time, I kept all the cell phones that I had owned over the years and had them displayed next to each other so you could kind of see them getting smaller and smaller over time. That was pretty cool. I did actually lose them all in an apartment fire in the early 2000s, so I lost them. That kind of sucks. But the point is, that's how much cell phones changed in those 10 years. How much have they changed in the last 10 years? In 2013, Apple launched the iPhone 5S, and here's the current model, the iPhone 14. They're basically the same phone. Yeah, I know they've gotten way more powerful, the cameras are better, there's more functionality now than you had back then, but design-wise, user interface-wise, it's fundamentally not that much different than it was back then.
Yeah, and the reason why is because they've determined something that works, so they're sticking with it. Just that's why most cars have 4 tires on them, bro. That was, what's your point?
Then, in fact, you can make the argument that you could go all the way back to the first iPhone in 2007 to see the first major difference. I know all you Apple haters now flame in the comments saying that that's because Apple sucks, and yes, you are that predictable. But the point is, we've kind of reached peak smartphone. I mean, where else can you even go with this device? So one of two things is true here. Option one, the phone has reached its final form. And from this point forward, the only improvements we're going to see are just incremental changes, just to get us to keep buying new ones. Because if we don't, they'll go out of business. Or option two, something else is about to come along and take its place. Something just as disruptive as the smartphone, something that changes the way we interact with the world.
Here
something
comes
that
the intro
we'll all have to
song.
go out and get just to not fall behind everybody else. Some of the wealthiest companies in human history are facing massive pressure to be the first to create this device, whatever it may be. So with that much at stake, and literal trillions of dollars to invest in it, I think there's an argument to be made that the smartphone's days are numbered. And there are a few trends happening in technology right now that might exacerbate that. So today, let's talk about that. What's going to come next? And how's it going to change our lives in the future?
Bow now, bow now, bow now, bow now, bow.
So let's start by stepping back. Way back.
How do I do
This
that?
is a codex. It's basically a book, but written by hand on something other than paper. Written or drawn. A lot of codices are illustrated. Codices is a fun word. Anyway, before the codex, the only way to carry around words was in your head or on a scroll. Sure, sometimes you could etch them in stone, but only enough for 15 commandments.
These 15!
He's 10.
10 commandments!
The point is the codex was a disruptive device that changed the way we communicated information as a species. Perhaps the first disruptive information technology, followed by the printing press in the 1430s, but things really got disrupted with Alexander Graham Bell. Bell, of course, was one of the inventors of the telephone, as I mentioned in a recent video. Edison also worked on a telephone, but Graham got the patent, so he got the credit. The Bell box telephone went on sale in 1877, and for more than 100 years, the design stayed pretty much the same. I mean, microphone, speaker, wires, a dial, later buttons. What else do you need? Then came the cell phone. In 1973, Motorola unveiled the first portable cell phone. It weighed 2.4 pounds and had to charge 10 hours for 30 minutes of talk time.
God.
Guys, battery tech has come so far, it's insane. But the cell phone, at first anyway, was really more of an evolution than a revolution. It was the smartphone that really changed everything. I mean, think about the revolution that the smartphone was. It literally leapfrogged science fiction. I mean, the Star Trek communicator was just that, a communicator. It didn't play Angry Birds. You couldn't even text with the thing. Yeah, I did a video a while back where I talked about the AT&T You Will ad campaign from the 90s, where they kind of tried to predict where technology was going to go in the future. It's an interesting episode. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. But seriously, even the people who made the future happen had no idea the change that the smartphone would bring. And that was like 15 years ago. The first generation iPhone was revealed on January 9, 2007. It launched in US markets in June 2007 and a few other countries in November that year. In 2007, over 122 million smartphones were sold. Sales numbers climbed through the debut of other iPhones and Android phones, and in 2014, 1.2 billion smartphones were sold, and sales have hovered around the 1.4 billion mark ever since. As of the recording of this video, nearly 7 out of 10 people on the planet owns a smartphone. It's become a fundamental part of our human experience at this point. But as I asked at the beginning of this video, like, where do we go from here? Like, what more can we get out of this black square? If TV and movies are any guide, future phones will be transparent and have holographic displays. It's kind of amazing how ubiquitous that is as sort of a shorthand for future technology, the whole transparent screen thing. Like, one of my favorite shows, Parks and Rec, in their final season in 2014, they kind of jumped ahead 3 years, and in their version of 2017, just 3 years later, everybody had transparent phones with holographic projections and stuff. Swing and a miss. And yet there's no real push for that in real life. Samsung filed a patent in 2020 for a partially transparent phone, but nothing's come of it. There have been a few transparent displays, but the challenges of creating a clear phone are immense. I mean, like, all the battery and all the hardware would have to fit inside the bezel somehow. Not saying it'll never get there, I'm just saying that it's more of a sci-fi convention than an actual trend. One place we can experience improvements is in battery life. I know I just said the batteries have gotten way better over the years, but so have the power needs of these devices, so the point is there's still room for improvement. Graphene batteries, we keep hearing about, that could add capacity while reducing weight. They're also less prone to bursting into flames than, say, lithium-ion batteries. I've talked about graphene and all kinds of other alternative batteries in other videos. Now, one area where phone companies have usually tried to differentiate themselves is with the cameras. Well, we've kind of gotten to the point where adding more resolution is pointless. I mean, once you're recording in 4K video, there's just diminishing returns after that. But there is still some room for improvement on the front cameras. Right now we still have to deal with these notches in the front cameras because we haven't quite perfected the under-display camera, so that's a technology that's being worked on. But in lieu of being able to improve the cameras, we can improve image processing, specifically with AI. In fact, the inclusion of AI is a big area where smartphones are expected to evolve. Like, you can expect in the near future for these large language models to kind of act as digital assistants on the phone that can work between apps to solve problems for you. Like, instead of ordering food from DoorDash or Uber Eats, you would just tell your phone, order me some lo mein from Pearl's Chinese restaurant, and it would just get on the app and do it for you. Or just say, I need to order plane tickets to Boston, and it'll get on a travel app and give you options to choose from. But I think that's where smartphones are basically going at this point, you know, just basically becoming digital assistants and distraction devices. But really beyond that, like, form factor wise, where do you go from here? Because I mean, like, nobody thought that the smartphone was going to be like the end of progress, right? There's going to be something that takes its place. I think the question comes down to, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? Because there is a bit of a backlash to our smartphone addiction. You know, some say it would be great to have a device that provides all the advantages of a smartphone, but without the distraction part. You know, so we can live in the moment and connect with people. Others believe the only way out is through, to go deeper into the immersion. This is, say, what Apple's trying to do with the Vision Pro and Meta with the Quest and the Metaverse. I've talked about the Metaverse before, no need to rehash all of that, but there is a push for more immersion, which, and this might sound kind of counterintuitive, but it also kind of aims to make the technology invisible. Like, what if instead of, you know, looking down at your screen all the time as you're walking around, that the world was your screen? This is the potential for smart glasses and headsets. So I know I'm kind of late to the game to talk about the Apple Vision Pro. There's not a whole lot here that I can say that you haven't already heard, so let's just call this my take on it. So obviously I don't have a Vision Pro, but I've had the Quest 2 for a couple of years now. It was kind of a pandemic purchase. And I don't know, I go through phases with it. Sometimes I use it a lot. Sometimes it just kind of sits in the drawer for months at a time. But it's safe to say I haven't found a use for it that really has integrated it into my life, you know, become a part of my everyday routine, say the way my phone or the computer's become. It's mostly recreational for me. But one aspect of it that I always thought was really cool was the pass-through mode. Now on the Quest, it's low resolution and it's black and white, but it gets the perspective right, and you can see, especially when the Guardian barrier is up, how seamlessly the digital content interacts with the real world. Like, that really opened up for me what the potential for AR and mixed reality headsets are. That, you know, if you could digitally put computer displays or artwork or TV screens anywhere you wanted in your home or in your office, like, that opens up a lot of possibilities. Might even call it a game changer. So when the Vision Pro was announced, like, for me anyway, it was like somebody took a list of the things that I wish the Quest could do and made it a reality. The high definition, lifelike pass-through mode that you could turn on and off with a dial, the fact that it automatically became transparent when people walk into your field of view, the fact that you don't need clunky controllers in your hands, this stuff just blew my mind. And I gotta be honest, I really want to see this whole eye tracking technology thing that people keep raving about, calling it, you know, close to magic. It just looks sick. So Apple calls this spatial computing instead of AR or mixed reality, because, you know, Apple gonna Apple. But I think it's actually a fairly accurate term to use, because they're talking about taking the computer experience off of a screen and making it three-dimensional in the world. Which, again, in a way is kind of like having a transparent phone, if you think about it. And of course, here come the comments about the price tag and me being an Apple fanboy, because yes, you are that predictable. But the price tag gets steep. I mean, it's $3,500. That's a good chunk of change, especially when you compare it with the Quest or the Quest Pro at $500. But the quality of the image and the mixed reality functions are just so far beyond the Quest and what lower price models can do. Like, it really puts it more on par with higher end mixed reality headsets like the Varho VR3, which starts at the exact same price. The Vision Pro is like buying a computer and a display in one, but the display can be as big or small as you want it to be. Now, I want to say, I don't think the Vision Pro is going to be a game changer. It's priced too high for most people. It's really more of a developer product for professionals to get their hands on and see what they can come up with for it. Which, I mean, one could make the argument that's what the original iPhone was. I mean, I remember people laughing out loud at the price and saying there's no way anybody would ever be willing to spend that much money on it. That, and it didn't have a fraction of the functionality that it would have even 5 years later after the developer started creating more interesting and useful apps for it. I see the Vision Pro as just a good first step, you know, like something that will be refined in the coming years, something that will get people used to this idea of spatial computing, so that when something more functional, more price non-prohibitive comes along, you know, it's an interface that we all understand at that point. And I do think that's where this is going. Like, a lot of hay has been made about the fact that it has that front screen that shows your eyes, which, yeah, it's weird, maybe even a little dystopian, but I think that's just kind of meant as a band-aid of sorts until the technology gets sorted out for transparent smart glasses and whatnot. Here we are with that transparent screen thing again. Now, you might not like the idea of smart glasses, but if you want to talk about what could be the next smartphone, what will be the next sea change in how we interface with technology, I think that's a good bet. Like, instead of being, you know, tethered to a screen that you hold in your hand, the screen will be right in front of you, as big as you want, as transparent as you want, with helpful information displayed as you navigate the world, probably with some kind of helpful AI assistant anticipating your needs. Like, instead of having to carry something around, you just put the glasses on and go about your day, you know? The technology would be integrated into your daily life and ideally become invisible. Now, that's one direction that things could go in. There is another direction, though, with the same goal of making the technology invisible. It's from a company called Humane Inc., which was founded by two former Apple execs, Imran Chaudhry and Bethany Bongiorno. Imran and Bethany are a husband and wife duo who left Apple in 2017, a move they didn't make lightly. Chaudhry worked as a designer for Apple for 22 years. He often worked side by side with Steve Jobs. He's actually listed as a co-inventor of their patent for the touchscreen. Bongiorno was a director of software engineering at Apple. She managed a number of notable projects, including the first iPad, and in case that's not impressive enough, before that, she was an astrophysicist. Clearly, these guys know a thing or two about building smart devices. They're also good at keeping secrets. They've been operating in stealth mode for nearly 5 years. Everybody knew they were up to something big, but nobody knew what. There were some hints along the way, like a 2020 patent application for a body-worn device with a laser projector, and there was a leaked investor document from 2021 that mentioned an always-on camera and LiDAR sensors. And back in April of this year, they finally revealed what they've been working on in a TED Talk.
And we agree. Sorry, this is my wife. I'm gonna have to get this. Hello?
Since that reveal, they've given it a name.
It's just projecting from his shirt. I saw his little projector.
Well, I have a feeling they think people are going to drop the A and just call it the iPen.
That's stupid.
Their goal with the AI pen, and the mission statement for Humane in general, is to make the technology invisible and get rid of screens altogether. In his talk, Chaudhry called the screens a further barrier between you and the world, and he claims that Humane wants their technology to fade into the background of your life.
Yeah, to use
the way
his
it works
hand to
is
see
it's a
it.
wearable device that sits on the top of your shirt.
Right,
either
I
with
saw
a
it.
pin or a magnet. And when you're not actively using it, it kind of monitors your surroundings and helps you navigate or provide information when needed. You interact with it with your voice and with gestures, and when it does need to display information, as you saw from that clip where you made the phone call, you just hold out your hand and it projects it on your hand with lasers. The idea is it's a little AI assistant that you can use to interact with like it's a person. It listens and anticipates your needs, so if you're hungry, it might suggest nearby options. Like, I noticed a moment in the TED Talk before he makes that phone call where he says the word wife and a little light goes on his little AI pen. So was that the AI listening and knowing that it was time to make a call to his wife, or was that somebody off screen, triggering it remotely? It certainly seemed like something intelligent was paying attention and acting appropriately, which is the idea. Chaudhry talked about the tech being ambient and contextual, and that's what he showed, a piece of tech that waits quietly, taking in the world around it until it can be helpful. Like, at one point in the demo, he used a double finger tap to use the pen to translate his words into French.
Les appareils invisibles devraient sembler si naturels à utiliser.
And the translation was in his voice using generative AI, which is super cool for all the travelers out there. Like, granted, we've had Google Translate on our phones for a while, but this just takes it a step further. Again, without the need for a screen. It can also serve as a personal assistant, managing your email and your calendar.
Catch me up.
Patrick is coming to tomorrow's design meeting. Bethany wants to move next week's dinner, and Oliver is asking about soccer this weekend.
According to them, it's fully customizable with the gestures and prompts, so you can teach it what you want it to do with machine learning. And because it learns from you, the more you use it, the more efficient it'll get. Where it does get a little yikesy is the fact that its camera is basically always on. The idea being that, like, if you're watching your child take its first step, you wouldn't have to, like, whip out a phone and experience it through the screen. You can just be present and enjoy it, and then after it is over, you can just tell the device to save what just happened. Which, I get that. I mean, that's cool. I get the reason behind it, but you definitely get into some privacy concerns there. Though, I mean, we've all got cameras in our pockets all the time now. There's security cameras everywhere you go, but it's something else when somebody's just pointing a camera at you. Like, the next time you're out somewhere, just pull up your phone and do this to the table next to you. Yeah, people don't like that. And the coffee shop will not let you back in there again. Which, by the way, that was one of the hang-ups people had with the Snap glasses and the Ray-Ban smart glasses. Just the fact that there's this big camera just staring at people when they're trying to talk to you. So, I mean, I do worry a little bit that if smart glasses or, always-on digital assistants like the AI pen, if that really does become a thing, it might kind of change how people act, which might sound like a good thing if you think generally that people are bastards, the idea that they might, act a little bit nicer and more civil if they know that they're being recorded. But I don't know, like, I make video content for a living, and I can tell you, people they just act differently when there's a camera on them. And yeah, I'm a little worried that over time, if these things become ubiquitous, that people just kind of adopt a layer of falseness in our interactions with each other, that we'll never really be sure who we're talking to. Like, is this the authentic person or just a persona that they adopt for the camera? Which, I mean,
You
to
put a
push
lot
back
of thought
against
into
Humane
this.
just a little bit, if their stated goal is to remove screens so they can connect with each other more fully, this could be a hindrance to that. Anyway, the TED Talk's linked down below. Feel free to go check it out in full. Humane's AI pen is expected to come out later this year. The company has not even hinted at the cost, but if you want one, you can go to hue.ma.ne to get on the waiting list. Who.ma.ne? Yeah, we're going to have to work on that. The idea is interesting, and I'll be watching to see where it goes, but I think the big question comes down to, have we reached peak distraction? Because the entire premise of this company and their device is that we're all clamoring to get off our phones and re-engage with each other, which, I mean, I think there's an argument to be made that would be better for society, and maybe we have reached a point where things have gotten so out of whack that there's a movement or a trend away from technology and screens to log off and touch grass, as they say. But I think there's also a solid argument that people like distraction kind of a lot. Okay, so this is a segment that I like to call Joe Contradicts the Entire Point of His Video. I mean, let's face it, there's nothing stopping any of us from setting these things down and walking away from it right now, but we don't, do we? Our phones are more integrated into our lives than ever before. And maybe a clip-on AI assistant could, take on a lot of the major uses of the phone and free us from our dependence on them. But, I mean, come on, let's be honest with ourselves. Most of the time that we spend on our phone is just mindlessly scrolling some feed or playing some meaningless game. It's a dopamine delivery device. Which is why if I had to make a choice between these two options, I'd probably bet on smart goggles or glasses, because those would still allow you to engage in that sweet, sweet distraction. whenever you want. Or maybe we all have, you know, AI assistants on us that we use to kind of navigate our world and whatnot, but we also have a screen of some sort, a phone or a tablet or a computer that you can consume content or do work with. Or maybe...
we just stick with phones.
Maybe my entire thesis is flawed. Maybe we landed on the perfect design.
Exactly.
Pocket-sized device that you can use to communicate with anybody in the world and contains all the knowledge in the world.
That's what I think. God,
Maybe that's sci-fi enough.
All that bullshit.
Hi, I cut my hair to talk about today's sponsor, Henson Shaving. Get it? Because their product cuts hair? Not because I recorded this later. Not because I had another sponsor set up originally to run on this video, but they backed out at the last second, and then Henson was cool enough to step in and help us out. Thanks to Henson, I can pay my team now. They like that. Okay, so here's the deal with Henson. Not only are they fantastic partners in this channel, but they're also kind of doing the world a service by pointing out how badly we're all getting screwed by the shaving industry. Because people back in the day used to buy nice razors and then keep them for their entire lives. You know, just replacing the blades, which were super cheap. But then the shaving companies realized, hey, we can make a whole lot more money if we trick people into buying super cheap razors, and then we can create disposable cartridges that they have to keep buying for the rest of their lives, but instead of just charging a few pennies, we could charge $2, $3, $4 each. You know, make the thing they keep forever super cheap, but mark up the stuff they have to keep buying by 200% or more. And it worked. Probably most of you use these cartridge blades, and you're getting ripped off. You could be spending 10 cents per blade, instead you're probably spending $2 each. And that's for the discount blades. But you may be saying, yeah, you're paying more, but you're getting a better shave, so it's worth it. But that's the thing. You're not. I mean, sure, these cartridges may have 4 or 5 different multiple blades on them, but they're tiny, flimsy blades that are only supported on the ends. This causes them to flex and jump around on your skin. That's something they call chatter. It's this chatter that irritates your skin and leads to razor burn, and it wears down the blades even faster. But Henson's designed their razor so it supports the blades all the way across at a depth of only 33 microns, and it's angled to skim across your skin at the perfect 30-degree angle. And they can do it with this kind of precision because that's exactly what their background is. They started out making aerospace parts that are now on the ISS and Mars. So you save money, you get a better shave, and on top of all that, it's better for the environment. These single blades are stainless steel, 100% recyclable, no plastics filling up landfills, even their packaging doesn't have any plastic in it. Now, I know that shaving is a bit of a ritual, and people might be hesitant to try something new. All I can say is that I was hesitant too, but I gave it a shot, and honestly, I've never looked back. I've been Henson-pilled. It's kind of just something you have to try, so if you'd like to give it a try, just go to hensonshaving.com, pick out a razor you like, they have a variety of colors and styles to choose from, and then grab a 100-pack of blades while you're there, and then when you go to checkout, enter the promo code JoeScott at checkout, you'll get this 100-pack of blades completely for free. And these blades last between 5 to 7 shaves, so you probably won't spend another dime on shaving for at least a year. As this graph shows, it pays for itself super fast. So one more time, just for fun, it's hensonshaving.com. Enter code JoeScott for the free 100-pack of blades, and thanks to Henson for being such a great supporter of this channel. Alright, thanks a lot for watching. Please do like and share this video if you liked it, and if this is your first time here, I'll put a little video up here. Maybe I'll link to the most recent video.
Hey guys, I'm out of here. I'm getting like this nerve pain through my foot. It feels like my foot's in a vice. Just clamping down from the top and bottom near my little toe on that side of the foot. So I'm in a lot of pain right now, so I'm going to go put some triage oil on my foot, probably. I will talk to you guys later. Hope you had a good night and a good Christmas and whatever it is that you celebrate. Or if you're like me and you don't celebrate, I hope you guys enjoy your evening, and I will see you guys tomorrow, alright? You guys take care. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Tropical. Yeah, it's already feeling better, actually. It was just a temporary thing, but I'm going to go anyway. I was going to go. It's an hour, so take care, guys. Bye, y'all. How many thumbs ups did I get? Oh, yeah, 4. Thanks for the 4 thumbs ups.